Good evening, everybody. Tiger here from RWB International, and welcome to this week's Thursday night mini league. Remember, 1 car, 5 tracks. People don't know what the tracks are or the car is until they turn up. As usual, I've got with me my indomitable alien. Some say that actually he talks with a whisper that's so quiet it will send dogs wild. All I know is he's called Speed. Hello, Speed.
Hello, Speed.
Hello, Speed. There he goes. So, Speed, first track tonight is at Zolder in the Limburg province, near Hasselt in Belgium. GP circuit, this one, 2.5 miles, 4 Ks. What can you tell us about the cars? F3?
Yep, we're running the F3, well, the race room F3 car, which is based around the Formula 3 rules, which is governed by the FIA. Runs a numerous amounts of, national championships around. The cars have roughly, 240 brake horsepower, 300 newton meters of torque. They're a 6-speed paddle shift car. They're a 2-litre inline-4 naturally aspirated car. Weigh about 565 kilos, including the driver. Produce around about 780 kilos of downforce at 250 kilometers an hour. And they're just a damn good, fun car to drive, because obviously they're, standardized across the class. The only changes you can really do are suspension, chassis changes. It's not like you got aerodynamic changes coming throughout the season for different people. It's a spec series, so it's down to the driver and the team in the end, which makes it really close racing. I know Lando Norris was a previous championship winner of this, and Michael Schumacher's son Mick was also a champion of this last season. So very good car to start your Formula career in. But I'll hand it back to Tiger, and he'll give you a rundown of a bit more of the track.
Thanks, Speed. That's really useful. Yeah, really great fun, these cars, aren't they? F3, using the sim race room tonight, as is usually the case on a Thursday. And if you haven't bought any of the Formula cars, you're doing yourself a disservice, because this is a whole lot of fun. I think all the chassis are pretty much the same, aren't they?
In the F3, there's a couple of different chassis over the years, but I couldn't find out what race room based their game on. I think they just based it on the general concept of the car. But I think there's like 3 or 4 different chassis, which obviously evolve over the years to what they run now. I'm not too sure what the chassis number is, but it's the latest spec engine and latest spec everything.
But are all the teams using the same chassis? That's what I mean, I think.
Yeah, it's basically spec car. So obviously, I think it's Lara that produced the car on behalf of the FIA, and then pretty much you buy it from them with the chassis and the engine, and obviously then it's down to what series runs tyres and stuff. So it's purely down to driver and team, not down to like how much money you can chuck at the car in development.
Yes. So this is in real life, this is a really great series, as you said, to get into, to cut your sort of open wheel career in. And as I said, in race room, you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't bought this car, because as Speed has just said there, it's down to not setups and aerodynamics. It's down to really the sort of ability of you as a sim racer. So, yeah. So 50 seconds left of qualifying. Not going to give you too much history on each of the tracks tonight, but currently we're at Zolder, as I said, the little brother, if you like, to the infamous Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. This was actually, Zolder was the first purposely built race circuit since the 50s. And actually, it was only named Zolder in 1963. For those 13 years, it was actually called the Omloop van Terrelman, after the actual landowner. So lots of different series in real life go around this circuit. From DTM has returned there. They've even got BMX and cycling championships. Speed, can you believe that?
Yeah, it's one of them weird ones, isn't it? It's where they use, I think in the cycling, they use it for long distance stuff, don't they? Like distant records and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yep, that's right. So coming towards the end of the qualifying period then, we can see the qualifying times up there in front of us. And now, of course, they've got 58 seconds to get on the track. Race duration tonight, I believe, is 8 minutes. And they should be on the track anytime soon. I think we've got about 19, 20 runners, so it's going to be a short, sharp, fast, and I would assess fairly close sort of race, I think, speed, because of exactly what you said. It's a spec car.
Yeah, it's also a very good turnout for a midweek mini league. It's definitely been growing over the past couple of weeks, so it should be even better than it normally is. It's normally you have battles throughout the pack, and it obviously they don't spread out as much. We're only being an 8-minute race.
Yeah, indeed, a very good turnout tonight. 19, 20 people, and as you say, growing and growing all the time from strength to strength. The RWB. Remember, race clean, race fair, race for position. Respect other people and enjoy yourself. Don't race alone and race RWB. If you're out there in a public open lobby and get smashed about, get over here as we now see the red lights coming along as the green lights are going to go, and they're going to go straight the way down that main straight. And they're away. Oh, some people moving out into the middle there, Speed.
Yeah, it looked like Rigel John A got a false start, and obviously Audi and a couple of others jumped him in the middle of the pack there.
Yeah, as we watch for third position Pedality go around Sterren whacked and into Canal corner, Canal curve down into Lucia.
Sounds a bit dirty, that, doesn't it? Down into Lucy.
Doesn't it?
But father and son battling going on there between John Haig and Isaac.
Oh, as we see Rigel just getting out of shape there, and a few others down by the chicane getting out of shape. Can't really afford to get out of shape on this sort of circuit. And of course, under this time frame, riding with Rodders, currently in 6th position, looking at Isaacs who's a little bit of a mini alien, I heard, in a rally car. But looking at Isaacs there. In with Charger now, looking at Dave Crew for 8th position. Charger in the yellow F3. And Ryan with FX in 11th position. That's a good position for FX, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he usually suffers in this first race because he's setting up the stuff for the stream. So obviously he doesn't get out in qualifying as early as most people, but obviously he'll get stronger and stronger. As I just see him drop down a few places there, so obviously must have got either a slow down or just clipped, the curb and got high sided the car as was on the curbing and coming out of that last corner.
Yeah, and I think Pedality just hit Luca there gently. As we just seen someone go off there. Auto director's going mad here. The trouble is with F3 cars and a spec car like this, they're all going to be fairly close. Saying that, those fairly drawn out. But so far, it's been a sort of semi-clean race. The Thursdays are a little bit more lax with regards to not the standard of racecraft, but there are certainly more allowances, aren't there, Speed, for a quick tyre rub and a quick fender bash every now and then. This is where you learn your racecraft, isn't it?
Yeah, if you come into race rugby on a Thursday night, don't take it as this is what it's usually like. Like Tiger said, the rules are relaxed a little bit, but obviously we still expect you to be, competent. But like we said, the rules are relaxed a bit because it is like a little quick sharp races. Get them down, get as many races as we can do in the 5 minutes within the hour, should I say? So it is a little bit lax, but obviously we still expect you to be courteous to other drivers.
Yeah, quite. As we're riding with Rodders there, 0.5 of a second behind Pedality, who's doing fantastically well up in third, but to be frank, that's pretty much whereabouts he normally is, the first, third. Great races out there tonight, actually. And I think we've got a few guests. Welcome to them, and I'll give them a mention later on. So where are we then? For about halfway through the race, currently in first position is our mini league sponsor. There's Audi. He's out in front there with a lead of 1.1 seconds to Luca Gray. Luca Gray in second position with Pedality in third. Right behind Pedality we can see Rodders closed up now to 0.3 of a second, straight over the chicane and up the Sacrament Hill. This actually, Speed, this chicane was put in here, just this chicane here, this chicane was put in to slow this section down in preparation for this track to become an F1 track during the late 70s, because it was deemed too fast. As Rodders goes on the outside of Pedality there, inside coming to this, what they call the Terralam corner, I thought he was going to take it.
Well, Paddy's got his own cheerleading squad in the YouTube chat, as in
really?
RWB Fergie. That's telling Paddy to come on.
Such a shame. Love to have seen Fergie out there tonight. I know he loves the open wheel. A big shout out to him. As Rodders takes Pedality on the straight, just had a little bit more speed than Pedality going through that chicane. He carries a lot.
Yeah, obviously Rodders got a good run out of that corner, and obviously Paddy were defending into turn one, which gave him put him off a little bit of a line going out of turn one, so he's had to defend quite a bit, in this first couple of corners of this fourth lap.
Yes. So quick rundown. Luca Gray, we missed, took Audi. Audi's now 0.4 of a second behind. Pedality in third place. He's just retaken that back from Rodders. Crikey, there's two main battles there. In the cockpit with Rodders, you can see how close they are. You only need to just not carry enough speed into a corner, have a little off like that, touch some grass, and you're going to lose some time, as we just seen Pedality there lose that. Rodders staying on the outside. He's got to allow him to have it. And Rodders will stay this side, going all the way down into this corner unless he can come over to the left, which he pretty much can now, as you see, go out to the middle there, and keep his now newly appointed third position. Rigel in fourth position, and as we say, Rigel in fourth position, we see Pedality there close up on Rodders, but back to Rigel. You can see Rigel closing up.
Yeah, good recovery from Rigel. I know he did drop down I think it was just outside the top 10. So he's good recovery to get up to fifth and on the back of Pedality and Rodders.
Yeah, and look at that, as he's just taken now Pedality, is he not? On no, Paddy has held on to third position. Well done, Paddy. Keep your cool now. Something's happened to Rodders is up into second position now. Something's happened to Luca Gray down into fourth. Did we miss that? Was I looking somewhere?
I didn't see anything pop up, so I wonder if he just ran wide coming out of the turn two and got onto the grass. Obviously, as soon as you get on the grass, you just lose all grip. And obviously, if you run it, even if you run, you're running a little bit wide, you're gonna high side. That's not the word I'm looking for. You're gonna beach the car on the curb, because obviously they run very low with the plank underneath the car. Obviously, you're just going to get the plank on the top of the curb. It's just going to lift both wheels, or four wheels up now and again. So you just understeer straight off.
And these 8-minute races, these are really good, aren't they? To sort of, as we see, who was that's just gone off there? We've just lost someone there. I think that was Pedality, down into fifth position. Yeah, it was. These 8-minute races, they're really good to start tuning your sort of muscle memory when it comes to racing. And start on those consistent. It's no point going into a race if it's an hour long and you've got no consistency. And these short races, short bursts, are a really good training ground to sort of improve consistency. So 22 seconds left. Back onto Auto Director, as we just see Rick Binnersley there. Look at taking 10th position from Cos. Good position from Cos there, middle field, which is good for him. And I think we should flick on to Audi in first position, as he just comes now down to, just goes up the hill, down towards the Klein chicane. Sorry, that was the Villeneuve chicane actually. And going down towards the Boulderberg corner, and now he's on just gone through the Jochen Rindt curve, and he's now on the sort of back straight. So it looks like Audi will take first position of race 1. Well done, Audi. Audi is our Thursday night sponsor, has been doing this for many years, and I'm sure we'll be over the moon with the attendance tonight. Well done, Rodders, in second position there. Third position, Rigel, John Haig. Fourth position, Isaacs. Well done, Isaacs. Fifth position, Pedality, Paddy. Better luck, buddy, next time. You've done so well at the beginning there, but you only need a small off. Sixth position, Luca. Again, Luca was in right at the very top there, but the race hasn't finished yet with them still coming over the hill. We see FX crossing 13th. Ben Davis down with 14th. Dave Crew in 15th. Timo back with us. Always nice to see you, Timo. Timo is now crossing. He's with the Corporation Racing Network. Gabsy, my rally buddy. I'm not sure what happened there, but I think he had a problem at the beginning.
Maybe he tried to do a bit of rallycross.
I'm willing to bet. He did. So that was the end of the first race. I enjoyed that. That was good. It was really quite fun. That was a quick 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's what she said last night. It was a quick 8 minutes.
Oh God, you took it right out of my mouth. It's Thursday. My wife will say that's a quick 8 minutes later on. Next race. So where is the next race? Remember, the guys don't know where the next race is until the screens load up. But I can tell you now, the next race is Hockenheimring. Hockenheim in Germany. It's going to be a national circuit. The national circuit is with a parabolica. What's a parabolica speed?
A continuous radius. I forget how you word it, but it's a continuous radius core.
That's right. A corner with a continuous radius, which is actually inserted halfway towards the leg down at the Ost curve, and we'll see that as we watch the guys go around. Hockenheim, Germany, then national circuit, 2.3 miles, 3.7 k's. Got that parabolica inserted. I don't know whether we can ride with someone and you could take us round speed. Or probably better off on qualifying, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, qualifying.
Yeah, so as they got just 50 seconds left of practice going there, as we're just watching Evil. It'd be good to see where he is on this one. I wasn't sure whether he was in the last race, actually. But, I mentioned the Ost curve earlier on, not the Ost curve. It was the parabolica is put in just before the long sweeping lefter to what's known as the Spitz corner. This is the parabolica here, a corner of equal radius. And then, of course, you're then down to the fairly sharp left, sweeping left and right, and then all the way down as they're just approaching that mini back straight down towards the Mobile 1 curve. This is our track speed that was created by Christ.
Yep, Christ himself created this track.
Not Christ the Lord, but Ernst Christ in 1930, with the first race in 1932. Undergone various different track designs over the years. Pretty much stopped in World War II when the German army took down all the wooden stands to reduce the aerial footprint from bombing and used the area as a German army logistics muster area to prevent it from being bombing. But actually all that happened was it was bombed more and then rebuilt in 1947. So we're now moving into qualifying. Let's jump into cockpit with somebody. Let's jump into cockpit with, I don't know who that is in front, but let's jump into cockpit with John Hay. Can you take us around?
Yeah, we're coming into turn 2 now. This right hand hairpin, obviously sacrifice a bit on the right hander to get a good run after this left hander down this long straight. But it's not so long today as we're only doing the national layout, so normally you'll be coming down, just hugging that left hand side up. Obviously you'll be braking just as them cones, getting down to first gear, double apex right hander. Try not to push out because obviously the car washes out there, and that's how you T-bone someone that's spinning. You come into this left hander, just avoid that sausage curve on the inside, pull it back across to the left to get a good runners through this right hander. Try and not get up on that curve because there is a big shot sausage curve. Brake about the 50 board for this fast right hander. It's usually, depending on how much aero you've got, it's just usually the lift off to get the front end tucked in. Into this corner you can take a high line through it. I know the DTM cars do, but with the aero cars you can hold it into the inside and into this final corner, which was the thing of many things in the F1 race last weekend. The people running wide. Obviously, that was a good lap of Hockenheim, but it's just his fifth corner, which is a lovely, good commitment corner. And obviously, that's a lap of Hockenheim National, if you can call it that.
Awesome. Thanks, Speed. And as you talk through that corner, that track talk through as you just done there, and I think we've just seen. Well, actually, Rigel's on his first sector now. We can see at the bottom there, the purple area means that's the quickest. If it's green, it means it's the quickest for that particular person. So that's the difference between the colour codes. And you'd be surprised the amount of people that ask what the difference in the colour codes are. Assetto Corsa is quite good for the colour coding in that it just gives you a small coloured box. And if you're new to sim racing, you're not quite sure what that is. It's basically telling you the different sections of each sector, how you're doing. Just very simplified. Colour codes, we just see someone go off there. Rigel's having a good one here though, isn't he, with 2 purple sectors. Let's hope he gets a purple sector 3 and takes pole.
Yeah, I don't think it's live in race room where it changes. Obviously, if someone goes quicker after him, obviously now with there being a lap up, it will now check his sector times with everyone, whoever's the fastest, and now it'll give a true representation if it's a quicker, an outright fastest sector or just a personal best fastest. As you can see there,
he's just gone faster again, hasn't he?
Yeah. So he's gone 4 times quicker in that first sector.
And to be clear for everyone watching, it's an 8-minute race. So the setups are default on a Thursday evening. So everyone's the same. This is about, racing ability. I think you've got the option to change brake bias, I think. Yeah, brake bias, but I think that's pretty much it, isn't it, Speed?
Yeah, it's usually brake bias and brake pressure. You can usually change on default. Obviously, you do get the choice of fuels and tyres, but obviously with fuel and tyres being turned off this league, you don't really need to worry about it.
Yeah, and no mandatory pit stop, and damage is off as well. So this is the Thursday nights really, and I think it's almost unique and fairly sort of niche-ish. If there is such a word as niche-ish, I don't think there is. But this is a great opportunity to come along and try your hand and not be too concerned, if you accidentally bump into someone or you're making the mistakes or whatever. It's God, crikey, sorry, just sneezed my head off. I've just put my head back on now. Great run by Charger there. Charger's now in 6th position. But as I said, these Thursday nights are a great place to come along and try your hand, learn the craft, learn the racecraft, and don't think you're going to get petitioned for a slight little bump or whatever. This is the place to learn here. It's not an open public forum. We do prefer it if you're in our Discord, so you don't have to speak to us, but at least be able to hear what it is that drivers are saying. There isn't general chat going on, by the way. They're not all taking the mickey out of each other or anything. They've got fairly strict sort of race comms even on a Thursday night, but that's just so that everyone can enjoy it and concentrate. As we close off the qualifying section with 36 seconds to go, you can see the current rundown in front of you.
Yeah, it's also get yourself a foot in the door of Audi would be in general. You come to these events and they're just fun. Obviously they're a little bit like they're not like a proper league. You're just there to enjoy yourself at the end of the day. And obviously it's quite a unique idea and concept that Audi brought to us a few years back. Just stemmed from this public P-Cars nights, where we usually stick up 5 minutes qualifying and maybe a 5-10 lapper, and obviously you just get through as many races as you can in the night, and then it's stemmed to hence why it's called the mini league. 5 races in a night in the same car on 5 different tracks.
Yeah, and you can drop in and do one, or you can drop in and do all 5, and you can turn up every other week if you want to, can't you?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. We're not knowing what car or track you're driving. If you happen to miss one, it's not a big deal because obviously it is meant to be fun. It is meant to just be able to drop in and drop out when you want.
Yeah. A good lineup here. We've got 20 cars there. We've got a few guests out there tonight, which is always great to see, and the speeds touched on that. Quite a close camera shot that for Hockenheim National, but okay. Remember, top left-hand corner is when we're going to get the timing board up. Is when everyone is out on track. So we're still clearly waiting for somebody to come out on track.
Yeah,
We've got
I think it's that close because it's looking at someone towards the back of the pack.
yeah,
And now
yeah,
it's gone to the right camera.
yeah. 20 cars then, and they're away, and a few people moving out into the middle there.
Yeah, big commitment for this first corner. Obviously, a fast right-hander, and there's been a bit of a rubbing into that first corner. We gave
Yeah, the
Nigel and
Nord
Gabsy had
corner.
a good lead.
Yeah, good to see Gabsy up there and Audi in 3rd position. Now going through the Einfahrt corner, down towards or down the long sweeping left-hander into the Parabolica. As we watch Rodders now, currently in 6th place, going into the Parabolica, coming out, being cautious of that car there. Oi, yay, come on, crikey, holy moly! But yep, that's fine. Try not to go against the traffic, but I think that was evil there. Unusual to see evil make a mistake like that, but it's easier to do in these cars. As you say, speed, you only need to touch the grass, don't you?
Yeah, you only need to touch the grass or just get the underneath of the car up on a curb. You just lose all grip. Obviously, when you do regain grip, could be
As we
going.
see FX onto the gravel. Yeah, carry on, speed. Sorry.
Yeah, you could be going another 20 kilometre wheel speed higher than you was when you was on the track, and he'll just spin you out.
John Haig and Gabsy there extending right away, and behind Gabsy 2.70 seconds to Ben Davis. Ben Davis, our talented visitor who races with us with a controller, and this guy is smoother than I am with a Fanatec CSL Elite. So I need to go to the doctor and sort the nerves out. But he's very good, isn't he, Ben Davis?
Yeah, he's very good saying that he's on a controller.
Riding with Rodders, looking at attacking Ben Davis at the first opportunity, and Rodders will. Of that there is no doubt. And Rodders got some breathing space because behind him is Dave Crew, currently in 5th position. You can see there Rodders attacking Ben Davis. 0.2, 0.23, 2.2, 2.1 as we see Rodders so close to Ben that he can read his postcode on his letter on his sideboard. He's that close. As we see someone just going off there, not sure who that was, difficult to keep track, but we're trying to do our best here. We said Rodders will attack Ben Davis at the first opportunity, and undoubtedly that will come along the main straight as he just slipstreams him. And looking at the first corner, the Nord corner, he'll follow him all the way through there, up to the Einfahrt, as Rodders just gets out of space there, out of place. 0.60 now dropping, so there's a bit of a gap there.
Yeah, I think he got really close through turn 1, and obviously, just lost a bit of grip. I don't know
That's the thing, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, he was really close going into the turning point for turn 1. If he should have been, a couple, maybe half a car lengths back.
Yeah, and that's the downside of slipstreaming, isn't it? Speed is the fact that you are going to gain some speed, but you're going to lose traction by aerodynamics.
Yeah, that's it. But he didn't look like he lost traction. I think he just carried a bit more. Obviously with Ben being on that control, he maybe taken a different line or a different approach to that corner. And obviously, I think Rodders just got into ever so slightly into the back of him, which didn't affect Ben as much as it did Rodders.
some great racing out there. And I'm going to put that back onto Auto Director as we see Rodders now still attacking Ben Davis. But of course, you know, let's just do a quick sort of overview. You know, Gabsy was right up there,
Crew in the back, sorry
leading
to
with,
cut off here. Dave Crew's
yeah,
in
Dave
the
Crew.
background.
Yeah. As we said, Gabsy was running away there with John Haig, Rigel in first and second position, and you know, he only had to have a little touch of grass or a slight off or not carry enough speed through, and others exploited that. But you know, Gabsy dropped down to 7th position. And that's the thing with these 8-minute races. You know, you've got to be consistent. You've got to stay on the grey stuff in order to be able to finish. You know, fairly sort of a finish where you think you will be finishing. If you come off, it's unlikely that you'll climb the field. And with the RWB lads out there, there are none. All the RWB out there are fairly quick, certainly racecraft and self-aware, and yeah, a good bunch to race against for our visitors tonight. Rodders closing up then on Ben Davis. Conscious there's 18 other cars out there and very, very close other battles. With only 2.5 minutes left, we'll probably skip through the field. Timo then right at the very end, looking at FX. FX 0.20 second. Sorry, 4 seconds in front. FX 0.20 seconds behind Stefano Marazzi. Stefano 0.3 seconds away from Koz. Koz just looking at the inside now, coming into Einfahrt. Koz has got Trolls in front of him and Marco. Trolls, our guest from Welders, he's now currently in 16th position, looking at Marco, 0.25 seconds behind Marco. Marco 3 seconds behind Matto. Looks like Gabsy has retired. He's obviously had a problem. These guys now are fairly spread out. Dave Crew, Evil, Isaacs and Pedality, as we just saw Isaacs go off there. Pedality only 0.20 seconds behind Rick Binnersley. Well, excellent driving by Pedality there, who exploited the opportunity to go on the inside. 3 car wide, I think that was then.
Yeah, it was definition of threading the needle between them two cars there.
Yeah.
It was an excellent, you know, instinctive move. You know, obviously saw the gap coming and pretty much had nowhere to go other than go through the middle of them.
Yep. Excellent driving by Pedality. 2.5 minutes left. 46 seconds left. Riding with Charger. Got to give him a note. You know, there's the consistency there. Stay out of trouble. Be consistent. Be, you know, averagely quick, and you will, you know, especially on short races like this, and of course on the long races that rely a bit of stamina and consistency, and you'll finish well. Charger will be the first to admit that he's certainly not the fastest out there, but you know what, a good race by him, and he'll probably finish in 5th. Audi currently in 4th, looking at that position as they're coming up to the last sort of couple of corners. Audi currently running in 4th, with Rodders in 3rd, not going to give up, coming up to the last corner, the Sud curve, as he now looks at Ben Davis's rear to see whether he can take him, coming down the straight, and I don't think he can. No, Ben Davis secures 2nd position. Well done, Ben. But out in front, a long margin, was Rigel.
Still racing, there's still a lap left. Rigel got across the line before the clock hit 0.
You're right, of course you are. I called it early. Good grief. They're still racing, which is great news for Rodders because he's got another bash at it. In fact, he's taken it. He's now in 2nd position, with Ben Davis now bearing down on Rodders, putting the pressure on Rodders. Oh, and I don't think he's going to carry that off, is he? No, Rodders is going to move away from that. On the wing of Ben Davis, we've got Audi. Audi loves the open wheeler.
Yeah, it's not over until
no, it's not Audi, is it?
Yeah, it is Audi behind him.
It is.
obviously
riding
Ben
with Audi,
Davey was
looking
ruined
at
that.
Ben Davies. Sorry, Speed, you go.
Yeah, obviously Ben Davies was hoping that Rigel didn't cross the line because he would have had a second, and obviously Rodders got him into turn 2, and coming away with third, but he quite could have easily been a fourth. Because Audi got a slow down there. Hopefully, he gets rid of it before the end.
As we see him cross the line now, yeah. Sorry. Evelyn 8th, that's great for him. He climbed up from the bottom there. Marco now, looking at Marco. Are we looking at Marco? Yes, we are. We're looking at Marco in 10th. Rick Binnersley behind him in 11th. Matto in 12th. And a big gaggle of them passing there. We'll see the results when that cops up. But looking at Timo now in 18th, coming around the corner and over the line. And my buddy Gabsy, my rally buddy Gabsy, wow, look, that's how easy it can happen, you know, from second to 20th, maybe an hardware problem. You see Timo in 18th there, got a 30-second penalty, so that carried forward. I think Audi, I don't think he's carried forward, did it?
No, I think Audi must have got rid of his slowdown before he crossed the line, whereas Trolls didn't.
Yeah. A good second race then. So Rigel in first, Rodders second, Ben Davies in third. Well done. Moving on to race 3. Do you know what race 3 is? Speed.
Imola.
Yeah. Now you see.
That's only because I'm looking at the server.
Right, but it's not actually called Imola. All right, that's not correct. It's not called Imola. It's actually called the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. Imola, near Imola in Italy, named Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari since 1970, actually, when Enzo Ferrari named it after a major shareholder and rebuild, named it after his son, who died in '56 of leukemia. But of course, we all know and love it as Imola. But if you wanted to be strictly correct, that's what it's called. Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. 3.05 miles, 4.9k, 8 named corners. I'll try my best, but I can't guarantee it. And of course, this is a real famous track, and it's called Imola because it's near the town of Imola in Italy. But one of your favourite tracks, Speed?
Yeah, it's not near the town of Imola. It is the town of Imola.
It is the town of Imola.
It is the town of Imola. So yeah, it is one of my favourite tracks. There's very few tracks I dislike in sim racing, other than Monza. Monza's just a shit track.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is. It's actually smack bang in the middle of the town of Imola. And once upon a time, of course, there was no borders and there was no fences and there was no grandstands. People used to watch it from their houses. And these roads were actually part of the infrastructure. Clearly, they've been widened now and they're recognisable by being a racetrack. But this was all once, just normal roads. And that's how a majority of tracks were formed, particularly from sort of 1930 onwards. They were normal roads.
Yeah, if there wasn't normal roads, there are either airfields or old World War II installations that got converted to racetracks. When the good old days of racing, when the boys had a beer after they had the race, and then obviously had a smoke whilst they were on the grid.
Exactly. Now this is the full GP circuit, so why don't you take us around?
Coming into turn 1 here, obviously a key braking point because you don't want to end up in that gravel. You got a left, right, left. Obviously key to get carry as much speed out of here. Down the straight, holding the right hand side, getting to the end of this curve before you turn in. Obviously sacrifice a bit on that left hander to get a good run with his right hander. Back over to the right hand side of the circuit for this slow speed, usually second gear, left hander, but you want to get as much drive up this hill as you possibly can. Drift over to the left to give you a run through this right hander, stay on to the right, and just turn and hope you don't wash out and obviously go too wide into that over that curb. Coming down to a really key part here, obviously you want to carry as much speed but not run too wide. You're braking and turning at the same time, so it's quite easy to lock up into that section of the corner. You come up over here, this is about spotting your braking point. It's slow speed chicane, but you can easily lose time and not gain much time. And obviously try and avoid the three stripes on the outside because it will just flip your car upside down. Coming down into this last double left-hand of the last two corners, just come under this bridge, look at the 100 brake, or just break it down, second gear usually up into third for this last corner, taking the wheel spin, depending on the car, and then just outright drag, take the line of least resistance down to the start line. And that's a lap of Autodromo Enzo Ferrari, the circuit Imola.
Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari. Okay, so this chicane here is called Tumbarello. Tumbarello out of the left hand here, and as you said, down this nice straight. And this chicane at the end here is called the Villeneuve. Villeneuve, after, of course, Gilles Villeneuve. I believe Gilles Villeneuve was killed here. Was it Gilles Villeneuve? No, not here, was it?
Ratzenberg that was killed here.
I think it was, yeah. So this particular circle, we'll chuck it onto Auto Direct to see if that can flick through and give people some screen time as we watch them go around there. And obviously Gabsy is the first of the pack and currently setting the fastest sector 1, 30.6. This particular site of Imola actually is it's in its genes, it's in its genetics, its makeup speed, because this is a site of gladiatorial chariot racing speed, Demon, in 80 BC. Would you have been on that chariot with a sword and shield?
Nah, I think I'd have been a wash boy.
I don't think so. So Gabsy going to cross the line and set the first of our qualifying times, and that is a 1:41.808. Those times are going to come in now. Rodders, unusual to see him slower. That's not to say Gabsy's not bloody fast, of course he is, but we're just starting to see the times now appear. Rigel goes faster with a 1:40.7, but pipped by Luca, who goes a 1:40.52.
Yeah, it just shows how crucial qualifying is. As you can see, we've only got 1 minute 50 left on the clock, and obviously they've only done one flying lap. So anyone that's crossing the timing grid now will probably not get another lap in. So obviously their first lap's got to count. And obviously at the minute we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 drivers that haven't actually set a lap time, and I don't think they're going to if they're not crossed the line already.
No, which is a bit of a shame, because personally for me that's a limitation of the sim, which sims recognise. Assetto Corsa does, I believe, allows the time to carry on until you've crossed, and I think Project Cars 2 does as well. In real life, of course, the clock stops. Well, if you're on the track, then your time will be valid when you cross the line. Certainly in most series that I know of.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. It's usually found in console games. But even they've started allowing you to finish the lap that you're on. Obviously, I think it was a change they made back, some PR event they did. Obviously to get through, the races as quickly as possible, type thing. And I just don't think they've changed it back. Hopefully, someday they'll change it so you can finish that. Because it is very disappointing that you managed to cross the line. You've still got 1:40 left on the clock, but you're still not going to get a lap time in.
No. And as you say, on these events on the Thursday, if you want to actually, don't forget you're racing clean, you're racing fair, and number 3, race for position. So provided you're doing the previous 2, then you can race for position. And if that's something you're doing for the points. So all these races are points and points scored. Then of course as Speed said, you've pretty much got to make sure you get out there and qualify, or be prepared to be at the back of the grid and fight your way through. That said, they're now got 45 seconds to get on the track, and then we've got an 8-minute race in front of us.
Yeah, it looked like Paddy was one of them that got caught out with obviously not being able to do a lap because he's starting down in 19th, as whereas he's been in the top 10 for the last 2 races on starting.
Yeah.
So obviously that's disappointing for him, but he also makes for a good race. Obviously you get that refuel, you got to fight through the pack.
And yeah, absolutely. As the red lights are on now, great view there from the circuit. Red lights are on and they're away. And so far nice and clean. Coming down the first corner, the Tamburello, the chicane, quite a wide chicane. Coming in there, all nice and clean. No one's come off. No one's fallen off the track through the Tamburello. As we're watching Evil there, good to see him up there where he's familiar ground, which is certainly in the top sort of 3, down into the Villeneuve chicane, and then into the very tight left-hander. As we just see, I think that was Rodders. As we just now see Rodders and Evil go around the Tosa corner and up the hill towards the sweeping left-hander. Sweeps to the right and then around to the left, sort of like an 85-degree left. Around they go, around the Piratella, down the hill now to the Acquair Minerale. Minerale. Up the hill towards the Variante Alta. I almost sound like you could order a pizza from me. As we ride with Evil through the chicane, this gets a lot of people out, actually. Catches a lot of people out, doesn't it, Speed? That chicane.
Yeah, it's one of them that obviously people push into thinking they can make up time, but it's one of them where you can quite easily lose a lot of time, if you just get it slightly wrong. Clip the curb and obviously unsettle the car. Coming out of it, there's three sleeping policemen on the outside that generally just kill you if you run over them.
Yes, as we see Evil and Rodders there. Rodders only 0.15 seconds, 0.14, 0.13 is clearly faster as they're coming into Tamburello. And there's Audi. I saw that, I was just about to say, I wonder where Audi is, but there he is. Of course he's there. And just so you guys know, we've got about 3 or 4 screens zipping around here. But so Audi just lost some positions there, back down into 5th position. And on the grass, not good. You'll lose a position there, I'm sure, as he does. Riding with Rigel behind Luca. And coming up the hill now towards the Variante Alta. No, that's the wrong one. The Piratella.
I must have come and taken the curse Paddy because he's retired to the pits.
Yeah, shame. I was just about to say, right, let's see how he's doing. And yeah, shame. As we ride with, and we just seen a couple of people go off there. And I think that was Rodders. Rodders lost position down from
Rodders and Evil.
8th and Evil, both of them. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. They're now down into 10th and 11th. They'll still enjoy their battle and they'll enjoy climbing through the field in the remaining 4 minutes and 44 seconds. That double left complex at the end towards the straight, that's known as the Rivazza. The Rivazza complex. John Haig then up into 2nd position, Rigel. Right up the chuff of Luca Gray. Looking at the outside coming into Tamburello. I don't think he's got enough to do a double back into the inside there on this chicane. But he will look at him even closely coming down towards the Villeneuve chicane. Yep, there you go. And so Rigel will now take 1st position as he goes into Tosa and up the hill towards the Piratella.
Some excellent battling going on in these cars at the minute.
Yeah, very much so there is, and so there's not too much pushback. It's very difficult to capture everybody in an 8-minute race. We've been on Auto Director since the start. The Auto Director capturing whatever it can, depending on the sort of time frames. 8-minute race, fastest sort of cars, spec rating where they're all going to be close. As we see Evil just look on the outside of Dave Crew. And he's got the line, hasn't he, coming into the Variante Alta.
Yeah, obviously that's a good move to pull, and get if you can get onto the right hand side and coming out of the corner before into that chicane, you've pretty much got the move done.
On the camera with Gabsy off of auto cam. Oh, such a shame. Call at the wrong moment on the grass. Keep it straight and level. But even now, you've lost 4 positions. Keep it cool now, Gabsy. 5 positions. Gabsy now down to 10th. You will absolutely curse me later, and for that, I doff my cap and accept. On the back of Evil as he just passes John D. Evil really flying through the field now, considering he was in an 11th position. Rodders is now still in 10th. Evil has exploited a couple of opportunities. He's now looking at Rick Binnersley as Rick Binnersley is and there he goes, past Charger. Did Charger have a problem?
I think he might have had a slowdown or got out of that corner a bit slow, which allowed Evil to come past. It looks like he's up to speed now.
Yeah, he is, you're right.
This is a great race for FX. I just noticed that he's in second. Let's not commentate cursing. Let's not speak about him for the rest of this race.
Yeah, shame. Seems that Paddy's had some hardware issues. That's a shame. I hope he can get them sorted and come back on. So very difficult to keep an eye on the whole of the field on a 20-car race where, it's difficult to decide. It's difficult to decide where to stay.
Yeah, there's so
on the wing with Ben Davis then, sorry, making the decision. On the wing with Ben Davis as Rick Binnersley looks at the outside. Ben Davis currently in 3rd, Rick Binnersley behind him Evil up from 11th, sorry. Behind Evil, watching it all, Charger. And rest assured, 48 seconds left, so probably won't get another lap in, I don't think. But make one mistake and Charger will pounce on you and take it off you.
Yeah, it looks like if you make a mistake now, you could be dropping, 5-6 spots. Depending on the severity of the mistake. It's a very, very, very close race. In the mid pack from 4th to 14th, and 4th to 10th. There's only 3 or 4 seconds in it.
Yeah. We're riding with Rodders in a position he's not used to and not familiar. Oh, and very, very close, but good skills. Closing up to John D. John D only 0.2 seconds in front of him. As we see Gabsy approaching on the outside and looking at seeing whether he can take Rodders coming into that chicane, but I think he will just go a little bit too wide. As we see, I think that was Audi, who's now returned.
Oh. 4 into 1 doesn't go, gents.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Good win for Rigel there. Good second place for FX, Ben Davis, Evil, Charger. Binnersley. Obviously, I think that's someone letting somebody pass.
Yeah.
That's race. Is that race 3 of? It is race 3.
I think that is race 3 over. Yeah. Situational awareness is warped tonight with So many things going on here. You know what? Our timing board is all yellow and red. Was all yellow and red during that race, which meant that they were very close to each other. The yellow and red representing time differences. But what can you learn from that? You can learn that, again, there's that word consistency. If you have a braking consistency and just put a wheel on the grass, you're going to suffer. I think Pedality sorted out his hardware problems, which is great because we want to see how he does in the next couple of races. So, next race location. Do you know where it is, Speed?
Give me a second. Spielberg Red Bull Ring.
It is the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Styrian region in Austria. Actually part of what was called Project Spielberg, which was to bring higher investment and a better standard of living for the small village of Spielberg and raise their local economy. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute when we get onto the track. But there you can see the results in front of you. It says FX here second. Is that right?
Yeah, that was right.
Well, good shout out to him. We missed that, and apologies, FX. Probably because we were looking at what was Rodders were going to be doing and Evil as he was fighting his way through the field. But there is another good example of just remain consistent and you will reap the rewards. FX, a very much middle runner, fast enough to be middle in RWB, which is faster than most out there. Let's put it like that. But very rarely will FX finish a race with a crashed car. His car will look as clean and as fresh as the day that he bought it, in essence, because
That's because he's been in the garage 3 times to repair it.
Yeah, that's right. So here we are at Red Bull Ring. As I said, part of the Spielberg, Project Spielberg. Some people refer to it as the Spielberg Red Bull Ring, but actually known as the Red Bull
A1 ring.
Well, it was another common misconception. It was actually relaunched in 1996 as the A1 ring after several major accidents and a deer problem, a deer population problem that kept going on the track, and there were a couple of accidents with deer and people that were racing. So they done some modification and re-released it in '96. But in 2011, they needed some money. It had to come from the private sector rather than the local government, and Red Bull stumped up £484 million. And as a result of that, Project Spielberg, as I said earlier on, with the local community, was launched amongst other initiatives, and the circuit then became known as the Red Bull Ring. And as Speed said, a lot of the old school will still refer to this as the A1 ring, and if you're talking to someone and say about the A1 ring, well, they'll know what you're talking about. Speed, do you want to take us around?
Yeah, obviously we come out of the pits, this long straight, going down into this red type hairpin. It's usually 100, between the 150 bod and the 100 bod is the braking point. Probably the slowest corner on the track, down to first gear. Try and not wash out with understeer in the middle of the corner and get as much drive out as you can. Going down into turn 4, where you just 150 bod between that and the billboard, your braking point, get down to second gear. Don't get on them curves on the outside because they are very slippy and you'll end up in that barrier on the right. Coming here is usually the 50 board, down 2 gears, hold it on tight as possible. Try not to run over this curve because you'll lose grip, and then you just chuck into this corner because you've usually got a ton of grip in these open wheel cars, and it'll just grip like shit to a blanket. Coming down into these last 2 corners, really committing. This first corner is really fast. Usually down 1 gear, 2 gear maybe, and then you straighten it up, get the braking point for this last corner, which is a real commitment. Again, don't get up on that curve because you'll bottom the car out and lose traction. Going up into this turn 1, uphill braking point, so you can brake a bit later, but it flattens out as you go across the the crest of the hill, and obviously that's a lap of Red Bull A1 ring.
Yeah, Red Bull A1 ring, and that's what we should rename it as in RWB. Couple of things I want to reiterate about what we mentioned earlier on, really. And we're on race director at the minute, on auto director, so it'll probably flip through. We're looking at Audi at the minute because it will stay with Audi because he's the front runner on the qualifying, and you can see there purple because he's the first one to set so far, 20.519. Thursdays are all about getting together and racing clean and racing fair and racing then for position. RWB members all know that, and of course we have visitors that come on where we reiterate if they need it or if they've seen the stream that this is not a wreck fest. This is not smashing into people or whatever, and you do so with the curse of a mistake. You've made a mistake, but a warning to anybody really in a nice way who thinks they can just come on and just barge their way through. It's not really the way that we deal with Thursdays. You still race with a deal of respect for other people. That's very, very important. If you make a little mistake and you hit someone, you hit someone, but it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of in between a public lobby and a league race, leaning more towards a league race. Yeah, the rules are relaxed, but don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Do to others as you would like to be done to yourself. Is that the phrase I'm looking for? I don't care. I'm going with it.
Perfectly said, I think. Luca Gray then taking pole position with 1:25 currently, 0.756, with 2 minutes 24 left to go. Rodders in second position with 1:25.9. Then we've got Audi with a 1:26, Rigel with a 1:26.1. Then we've got Charger. Great Charger, very much favours the open wheelers, as we can see up there with a 1:26.9. Charger in his new Vasaro kit, which has thrown him around like a rag doll. But the immersion factor for something like that must be huge speed.
Yeah, I think he just got it so he could set it to vibrate and finish himself off after a nice
I
race.
think you're probably right.
So I think he's got it for selfish reasons other than to race.
Gabsy in sixth position behind Dave Crew, currently with a 1:27.3, and Dave Crew with a 1:27.1. Paddy, my Pavlov buddy, and my fellow artist is all I'm going to say. Speed. As you all know, everybody, we do live streams on a Thursday and a Saturday. Thursday is our mini league. We've explained that. On Saturday, currently, is our World Touring Cars and GT4 league. Second race is this Saturday, and we always try to do something interesting at the beginning of that. And I've got a little present for you this Saturday. Speed. Look forward to it.
It's not you and a mankini again, is it?
It's not me and a mankini. That would be your lucky day, my son. No mankinis involved. 47 seconds left of this fourth race at the Red Bull Spielberg Arena, A1 Ring, to give it its full title. Rigel pipped at the top there with 1:25.5, but of course don't forget there's still 30 seconds left, so everyone who's 30 seconds within the start line or the finish line can still pop a qualify, so they may well change as you see them.
Yeah, I think most people actually done lap or they're not close enough to the finish line.
Yeah. When this track was opened in 1969, it was actually called the Osteric Ring. Osteric Ring. And it was very popular when it launched because of these fast sweeping bends, majestic tarmac as they referred to it as, and of course it's in the scene of the Styrian Hills, which is a beautiful area of Austria. Austria is my favourite country in Europe, no question about that. And it was actually built, ironically, to replace the nearby track, Zeltweg. So if any of you race any historic stuff on any of the sims, you might see that circuit, particularly in Assetto Corsa. I don't believe it's in Race Room, and I don't believe it's in Project Cars, but Zeltweg is a historic circuit in Austria, only a short distance away from Red Bull Spielberg Ring.
I think it was Auto Ballista had a 1960s version of the Red Bull Ring.
Really?
That is a very, very, very fast track.
As they're away now. Rigel
Turn
keeps
one.
his first position into turn one. Now this is where a lot of mistakes happen. We can't stay with turn one. Let's see Binnersley go through turn 1. Oh, and there's a huge crash there. It looks like Marco. No, not Marco. Thomas.
And Davis.
And I think it was our buddy Audi. So riding with Audi now. Audi is now in 20th position. You can see the cars all at the very end of the into the Remus corner, down to the Schlossgold corner down the hill. Will let Audi catch up? Undoubtedly he's biting the dashboard at the minute, wants someone's head on a chopping block. Behind Rigel you can see Rodders taking a look at Luca Gray. Luca Gray closing up on Rodders, only 0.3 of a second away, but Rodders catching up, 0.17 down to 0.20. And behind Rodders you can see that yellow F3 car, which is Dave Crew. Riding with Charger, looking at Dave Crew, coming down towards the Rint corner. This is the Rint, and now down into the last corner, the 85-degree Red Bull Mobile corner. Charger goes through there, crossing the line in 5th position, but behind Charger is Gabsy, only 0.17 seconds behind. He takes a look on the inside, but no, he hasn't got enough time.
Yeah, I think that was the first major accident that we've had tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is. Is Gabsy going to be brave enough to stay on the inside towards the Remus corner? I don't think he will have Charger coming into there, will he? Surely not. No, but he keeps Evil very firmly behind him as Charger goes over to the right-hand side when he came out of Remus corner. But now down into the Schlossgold, you can see Evil looking at taking a chunk out of Gabsy as Evil takes him on the inside of the Schlossgold. Evil now looking at sniffing Charger, but you're not going to get rid of Gabsy that evil. Gabsy's that easy evil. Don't give him an inch, he'll take a mile. I don't know who that was. We've just lost someone there. I think that was Luca Gray. Luca Gray from 2nd position all the way down into 10th. He's clearly rejoined the track. Looking at Pedality and Luca Gray. Pedality in front of Luca Gray there. Pedality in the white F3, the grey F3.
Yeah, our timing screen. Our timing screen is just full of orange and red. Because saying that the race is very close.
Yeah, it's very close. Yeah, and oh, Paddy, no. There you go. Keep it together, buddy. Keep it together. Let everyone else make mistakes. You're at 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the race. We'll come back to Paddy later on. I think Luca Gray is going to run away now as a result of Paddy's mistake as we watch Luca come into the Remus corner. And up the front here, we've got Rodders now looking at taking a pop at Rigel. But Rigel keeps on the inside. Rodders is 0.15 seconds behind Rigel.
Yeah, this is going to be a good battle to the end with these two. Obviously, very competitive racers, very fast racers and very respectful racers.
And very consistent, it has to be said. Now, there's only 2 things that give you consistency in my view. The first is practice, and then second, which is not as important as practice, the second is equipment. And the reason why I say that is because equipment is not going to make you any faster, but it will make you consistent. And that is a typical sort of strap line when it comes to sim racing. It doesn't matter whether your kit is 150 quid or whether it's 50 grand. The bottom line is the more expensive the kit is not going to make you any faster. Track knowledge, understanding the car, limitations of grip, and then equipment will make you more consistency. Would you agree with that? More consistent. Would you agree with that, Speed?
Yeah, obviously, I think the consistency is going to come with better equipment, but you will get a little bit of speed because you've got that consistency now. You are going to get, you're going to be able to be consistently on the brake, so you may gain, a couple of attempts over yourself because you are more consistent.
These two really close together, aren't they? You know, at one point was at 0.09, 9/10 of a second. Sorry, 9/100ths of a second behind him. That's quite extraordinary. Riding.
It's always.
Sorry, Speed. Go on.
No, you go. I was just going to say some stupid jargon, but it's okay.
Difficult to take the camera off of these two. Interesting to see what happens, but feel free anytime if you look at the timers to come off of these. We're 2 minutes left into the track. Well, look, Rodder's looking at taking him on the inside of the Remus, at the Castrol Edge corner. Sorry. Charger holding his position. Charger holding his position. Got FX behind him in fourth. You can see FX there, and right behind. FX has taken Charger, actually, according to our board.
Yeah, I think that was free wide going into turn one then.
I think that was, yeah, because Charger is looking at the back of Dave Crew. Dave Crew's just gone off there. Sorry, no, that was Gabsy. That was
FX. Gabsy and Eve are in the blue cars, FX in the white and red, and Chargers in the yellow and black.
Yeah, what would be great with that their own skin at their name all the way along the side there would be great, wouldn't it? Bearing in mind we're not professional bloody commentators, we do this for the love of the club and the community in general. Lots of good streams out there nowadays from lots of clubs, which is great for the community in general. So don't just stick with one organisation out there. Go and have a look and see how other people do it. As we just saw then, Evil just looking at the backside of Gabsy, I believe. But all that's done is just create a bigger gap for Evil. As oh, yeah, FX hitting the wall there. And a big look on the inside coming up to Castrol Edge on the outside, sorry, by Evil, who's taken Gabsy along the straight. Gabsy went defensive. Evil got some slipstream and then moved over to the right, broke it, and then turned in on Castrol Edge. Evil's now going to be looking at Charger.
I think Dave Crew need another pay for some more tickets to get back in the track then after turn one. How wide he went.
Yeah, as we saw, Evil just clipped the offside of Charger there. Not intentional, clearly, but and the only person that's benefited there is Charger, who's now pulled away, essentially half a second. But Gabsy and Evil are stuck to each other like araldite, and we must not discount Dave Crew, who's part of that pack of three, and who's again very fast, and I would say evenly matched amongst the three of them. And behind him, Luca Gray, of course, who we know is very fast, probably looking at trying to secure what he can in these last few moments of this race.
This has been a great race from Charger. Obviously, he's usually a top 10 finisher, but getting a third place within this type of racing is pretty good for him.
Yeah, and we want him to keep third place. Come on, Charger, cross the line in third place, and he does. Third place, Charger. Excellent job, Charger. Very well done. Pedality crossing in 11th, with Marco in 12th, Isaacs in 13th. The camera's catching up with me. Audi back in 17th, clearly had a problem right at the very beginning there, so he managed to climb 2 places past Timo, who we're looking at now, and John D, his Norwegian brother, who clearly had a problem as well. What I like to see is 19 starters, 19 finished. Personally, Speed, I've got no time for anybody who logs in, doesn't do well, disconnects, rage quits and goes away. The fact of the matter is there are winners and there are people who come last and there are people who come in the middle, and no one race is ever the same. And our friend Charger there, one of our honchos, normally a middle to sort of a sort of last half, let's say, top end of the middle third is probably the best way to say. Very clearly secured that third position. Would have been interested to see if there was a couple more laps, how he would have held that. But we saw Evil there, Evil with a 30-second penalty, and how much that has affected his overall time, all the way down there to 17th. Not sure if there's anyone in chat, and if there is, then Speed will talk to you in a minute about pulling a number out, because we want to talk to someone at the end of this. Be a random number. I believe there's a random number for a joker tonight. Is that?
Yeah, as usual, the mini league, the random joker in that position gets 30 points. And obviously, we have a random number gets suggested by the YouTube chat if there's anyone in there, and we'll pull that position down to have a surprise conversation with us if they're in chat.
Great, thank you, Speed. And now we're on a controversial track. Paul Ricard in the beautiful south of France. This particular one is the 1CV2 circuit. This high-tech test track claims the title of being the most modern designer motorsport circuit facility in the world. You're not going to see runoff areas, you're going to see these concentric lines painted in blue that represent the runoff areas. And Paul Ricard has got, we see someone just go off there, and Paul Ricard has got one of the longest straights, the Minstrel Straight, which is a mile long. And when F1 returned to Paul Ricard in 2017, just a bit of trivia for you, they used 10,000 tonnes of brand new asphalt to relay the pit area, the exit of the pit area and parts of the track. 10,000 tonnes. But it's a Marmite circuit, isn't it? You either loathe it, love it, hate it, or whatever. What do you feel, Speed?
I kind of like it. It's quirky. Obviously, there's a lot of blind corners because the track is so flat. You don't, and the curbing's not raised, and there's not like markers to say where the track's going. So it is like you say, it's a Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. And I kind of like it. It's quirky.
Yes.
Everyone always loves quirky tracks.
Yeah, I agree. 3.63 miles this one is, 5.8k. There's 13 corners around here. My French is awful. I can order an omelette in French. That's about it. So I'm not going to pretend to try and be able to call the corners out. And we'll wait until Audi goes all the way around actually, and we'll get Speed to take us round and give us his perception of what where the car should be attitude-wise. I'm hoping for good things for Audi from this one. I think he deserves a better race than finishing 17th. But as we've seen, it's all down to how they get away, whether they get away cleanly, and whether they capitalise and exploit the sort of consistency virtue of their own racecraft. If they can do that and stay out of trouble, then you can finish well.
That's it. The mini league's more about being consistent than being fast. Obviously, you can lose a load of time. Obviously, Audi had that incident in turn 1 in the Red Bull ring, where it's dropped in now 5-6 seconds off the back of the last person in the pack, which only netted in P17 in the race. But obviously, you keep on going in the mini league because you never know. P17 could be the bonus position this week, so you could end up getting 30 points for that.
Yep, absolutely. So, do you want to take us around?
Yeah, so going into turn 1 here, you get over to the right hand side of that track, brake around about these end of these cones, down to second gear, clip that curb on the left, on the right, try not try carry too much speed because you will just wash out and go over that curve. Now down into this right, left hairpin typey nuggety corner, you brake in here, carry as much speed as you want through this first part, then scrub it off for this second part. Usually down to first gear for this really tight right-hander, getting this straight line, accelerate through this right-hander. Some cars it's a lift off and turning, some it's a brake, and obviously get back across to the right to get this good run onto this main straight. Now you're just thinking, going through the gears, obviously trying to spot your braking point into this chicane on the back straight, which is usually just around these cones. You're down to second gear, first gear depending on the gearing and the power of your car. This corner's quite tighter than you think. So obviously you can quite easily dirty your lap on that section of track, and then coming out of there, another short straight through this run, this really fast right-hand corner at the end of the straight. Really commitment when you don't have the chicane in the back, because you're going from top speed, and then you're going into this ever tightening right-hander. You don't want to run too wide in the middle of the corner, and then cut it back, just clip that curb on the right-hand side. Over to the right-hand side for this corner, run the middle of the track, obviously cut back for a late apex, back on the power, and just hug this curb around the right-hander. Usually at the end of this curb, you'll brake, you'll downshift 2 gears and duck into it, trying to keep it over to the left so you can get as good as run through the right-hander as possible into the start and finish straight. And obviously that's a lap of Paul Ricard 1CV2, I think the track code is yet.
Marvellous, thank you. And I was just looking at the various different track layouts, and the great thing about Paul Ricard is it's well known for its way in which it breaks up its circuits by simply just putting chicanes in. As we see Audi there retire from qualifying, probably opting this time for a last cup of tea or whatever, and actually knowing in accordance with the time that he qualified in, it's a 2-minute lap essentially, and the time remaining, there's no point in him carrying on. He's happy with the position he's in, he's qualified.
Yeah, I don't think you were going to get more than 1 lap in this qualifying. Obviously, it's the long. I don't think it's the longest layout of Paul Ricard, but it is pretty long, and these are not F1 cars where they're doing it in like a 140 to 135 lap time in race trim.
Yeah. When I was doing some research on this track, I was shocked to realise that the only reason why Paul Ricard was ever built, and it was built over 10 months in 1969, was by the businessman Paul Ricard, who pushed back against the bureaucratic state of the French government with regards to private business enterprise. The French government wouldn't allow him to advertise pasties. Of all things, they wouldn't issue him a license. So he thought, well, I'll build a circuit and do my own publications, my own marketing. And also as a way of pushing back to the government that actually private business can build commercial roads. Quite unbelievable when you consider that was in 1969. 1970 was its first race, and in 1971 it was awarded the F1 Grand Prix of France for 14 years, which of course is a big money earner.
I think it was the early 2000s. It was purchased, I think in a joint consortium with other people by Bernie Eccleston.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right.
But it is primarily used as a testing track nowadays. It does host some major events, but that's the beauty of it. I think it has its own sprinkler system to actually wetten the track, which is quite a unique feature due to the fact that it is primarily used as a testing circuit. As the lights have come up, and I'll hand over to the numpty in this commentary box with me.
Yeah, and we had a couple of cars that go off there. Like I said, unusual on a Thursday. At least try and get to the first corner without blocking someone or shoving someone. This is not a league event where as we're looking at Audi, they're getting out of shape. Keep it together, brother. Keep it together. There we go. This is, though, definitely one of those tracks that you either like it or loathe it. And if you loathe it, you're unlikely to spend time getting to know it, even at an amateur sim racing level, let alone in real life. And I know that that's an awful camera view, race room. Please change that. That is a god-awful camera view, race room, Sim 3. That needs to change. That said, back to what I was saying, it is a Marmite track. You either like it or loathe it, and if you loathe it, you're not going to put time into it, and if you're not going to put time into it, you're not going to be quick around here, and if you're not quick around here, you're not going to be able to hold your own. Cos staying out of trouble, and he's someone who will just enjoy poodling around enjoying the fact that there's a race going on around him. If there's an opportunity to race, he will. But he'll stay out of trouble. You can always guarantee of that.
Yeah, I think it's like you say, it's one of them tracks you either love it or hate it. But I think when it comes to a league race, I think you just have to bite the bullet. Obviously do the practice in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what generally happens in real life, and people don't like it, but they still have to do the job at the end of the day.
Yes. Again, Rodder's down in 13th position, just not a position where you would normally see him. And now I say to myself, is that down to his mistake, or is that down to the mistakes of people around him? And dare I say it, as commentary curse, guess what happened? Someone hit him from the rear. I'm willing to bet there are probably some lesser experienced racers out there tonight who are making these mistakes, and in making these mistakes of hitting people or blocking people when actually they should be allowing them the room, if indeed the defensive line is there and that's been taken, then these mistakes are being made. This is the place to do it, but it's not the place to set a precedent. This is the place to learn. Now, of course, we're not in our voice channel at the minute. There are 20 of them in there, and the comms discipline is fairly tight. As we see, I think that was Matto go off there. There isn't going to be general chit-chat there, but make no mistake, if there are people driving out there that are driving without, dare I say it, due care and attention, and their sort of space and good racecraft, they're going to say.
It looks like the 5-0's joined us in commentary chat here. Due care and attention.
Without due care and attention. Oh, it is a right sort of phrase when it comes to racing. The onus is always on the passing car to have the appropriate due care and attention and pass safely. If that's at 190 miles an hour, it's 190 miles an hour. If it's at 40 miles an hour, it's at 40 miles an hour.
Sorry, officer, I did not see you there.
I did not see you, yeah. So Rodders running in 10th position at the minute, but we'll keep an eye on Rodders. I'm sure he'll try for the last 4 minutes there to get up a little bit higher than where he is at the minute, undoubtedly as a result of being hit a couple of times. Riding at the front then, let's not take it away from Rigel. There he is, and he's got plenty of space behind him. 1.2 seconds to Evil. 1.2 seconds to Evil. I say plenty of space, that's not really. As I see that go down to 114, 119, 112, and on the straight now where really it's measurable, 107. So Evil was quicker through that complex there.
Yeah, Evil was 4 times quicker on that lap. So obviously it's going to catch him at some point in this race, hopefully. Give Rigel a run for his money.
Yeah. Riding with Evil, looking at Evil, that god awful camera view. That camera view, Sim 3, do sort that out. Riding with Evil in second position as we got this bit of a straight here, half-mile straight up to this left-hander. Seeing Audi there, 4 seconds behind, but firmly in third position. Then with Isaacs in fourth position down this straight. Ben Davis in fifth position. We'll keep an eye on the front positions, don't worry, but the time frame at the minute looks like there's got the space to look down the field. Dave Crew in sixth position as Luca just takes him there. I think just gone off. Rick Binnersley right behind in eighth position, 0.09, looking at taking the opportunity. You can just see him out there in the distance.
It's quite spread out, this race for some reason.
Well, it's a long. It's a long straights, I think.
Maybe it was just a bit of battling on that first lap that broke the pack up.
Yeah, as in the blue and white car with the orange undertones and orange mirrors there, we can see Rodders taking a look at Rick Binnersley. Rick Binnersley goes wide, Rodders will exploit that as away he goes. Rodders now up into 7th position, good for him. Looking at Stefano, 0.22 seconds as he goes off there and loses 1, 2, 3 positions as someone else goes off there and loses position. Gabsy up into 10th position, but then you know, right around him, behind him is FX. In front of him is John D. And someone looking on the inside there, and I think that's FX. Just does a wheel scrape, and Gabsy just going across the inside. We see there, Gabsy's got a slow down penalty. He moves over, allows the penalty to take place, and he's going to lose 2 places as a result of that.
Yeah, Evil's got 1.5 second of Rigel at the minute. Yep. I think we're going to get another lap out of this race as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Very, very tight on that last lap. Obviously, yep. I think Gabs is struggling to get rid of this slowdown penalty.
Yeah. Riding with Luca Gray, and in front of him has got Ben Davis. Luca is very fast, it's no doubt about that, but I've seen some racecraft from Luca I don't like, and I hope he gets better at that and there's a bit more self-awareness out there amongst other people. I've seen him dive bomb a couple of times throughout the stream tonight. I'm sure that wasn't done on purpose. I think Luca is a new member to RWB.
He's not a new member, but he's new. He's a very young lad, so obviously youth and exuberance is probably shining through at the minute.
Yeah, youthful exuberance and the no fear factor. Luca, you're doing a great job, but you know what? Just have a little bit more awareness and care for those people around you. And his commentator's curse, I'm afraid he loses 2 positions, or loses 1 position to Rodders, and that's the race over. I think that was the AI taking control of their speed, was it?
Yeah, obviously now and again the AI, when they take control of the cars, freak out in this game. It can be quite comical sometimes.
Yeah. So there we go. That was the last of 5 races tonight, which was Paul Ricard. So right now we're now going to go into the post-race interviews, but to remind you, we had 5 races. We were at Zolder, then we zipped over to Hockenheim, then we went over to Italy at Imola, then Red Bull, Spielberg, Ring in lovely Austria, and then we finish off in the beautiful south of France with Paul Ricard just at sunset, it looks like. 20 runners essentially, finished off with 18 at the last bit. They're Formula 3 car, 5-minute qualifying, 8-minute racing. The whole point of it is get you together, get out there, learn some racecraft, learn from those people who are faster than you, and of course enjoy it. We pulled a joker number earlier on. What was that joker number?
We haven't pulled joker number.
Oh, we
obviously
haven't.
No one put anything in chat.
Well, are you able to randomly select a number?
Yeah, just give me a sec. 8.
Great. So number 8 from all of the races tonight. We will work it out afterwards. We won't take up any more of the stream with this now. But number 8 from all of the races tonight will receive, I think it's an additional, is it 30 points?
No, 8's the person we bring down.
Oh, beg your pardon. So the joker for the points will be worked out later, and that'll be posted on our Discord for those who took part tonight. So number 8 tonight, who we're going to pull down, is we're going to pull down John D. That's who we're going to pull down tonight.
We've not done it yet.
I thought you said number 8.
Yeah, but it goes off the results.
Oh, sorry, was number 8 the joker for the point?
No. Number 8 is the person we'd bring down, but we can't bring them down until I've done the results.
I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry. I was miles away then, Speed. I've just noticed my tea gone cold.
13th was the position that gets the points.
Great. 13th position is the position that gets the points tonight from each race, is it, Speed?
Yep.
Fantastic. So 13th place, you get additional points. I believe it's 30, I think.
Yep.
Marvellous. So that's always a nice little thing that balances it out. And who are we going to drag down tonight?
Tonight we're going to drag down Rick Binnersley.
Rick Binnersley. That's who we're going to drag down. He doesn't know anything about that. We literally grab hold of him, drag him into the channel, and then we go from there. So Rick, congratulations, you're our millionth person to use the toilet, the public toilet this evening, and therefore you receive the awarded prize of being interviewed. So you were the 13th number being called out, and on the last race there, I think you were 13th. Yeah, we're going to hand the mic over to you and just ask you for your interpretation of tonight's races at those 5 locations. Don't be shy. Or be shy, whichever you like.
Hello, is Mr. Rick there?
Okay, we won't talk to Rick then. We'll talk to Cos. We'll talk to Cos because Cos was the next one down. Cos, congratulations. You were chosen tonight as the random number to give your interpretations of the race. Quick question for you, really. We know that you are a middle to slow runner, and that if there is trouble, you'll stay away from it. You love the sim racing, but you're quite happy to be around those who are racing hard. That doesn't stop you, does it not, looking to exploit positions?
No, and that's what I was doing. Most of that league was exploiting positions, especially in corners, because I had traction control on, which helped me immensely.
And that's a really good point you mentioned in that. You can put traction control, and yes, you are penalised by a sort of weight ballast sort of impression on the car. But in doing so, I'm assuming that the 5 races, certainly if we saw, we didn't see you go off anywhere. You're building that. We spoke tonight on the stream, Speed and I, about consistency in these short races being really important. And does traction control give you that sort of confidence to raise the consistency level?
Definitely in those cars, yeah. I was spinning out in practice without it, and it's just safer to have it on. You get penalised, but people spin out. There was lots of people spinning out in front of me, and I gained position.
Yeah, and actually, I think that there were quite a few people out there tonight who would have benefited, in my view, from having traction control on, and actually using this opportunity to race and gain self-awareness and situational awareness of those cars around them, and not feel that they put their foot down, they're going to lose traction.
Yeah, I mean, it's ideal for beginners because it helps them to have the confidence to race in a pack without worrying too much about spinning out. They can use the brakes more, concentrate on.
Yeah, excellent. So, of the 5 tracks, which was your favourite tonight?
To be honest, all of them. They were all perfect for that car. Whatever track you throw that car on, it's going to be really nice. Just such a nice car to drive. I loved it.
And can you remind us what options did you have with setups? I think it's just default setups and brake bias adjustments and brake and weighting of the brake. Is that right?
Yeah, totally default for me. It didn't touch nothing.
Right, so of the Zolder, Hockenheim, Imola, Red Bull, Paul Ricard in a Formula 3, for you love them all. But if I had to pin you up against the wall, which I won't because I respect my elders, with respect, which one would you say is the best one for a beginner to go and learn the Formula 3 and it's what you can do with it?
I'd say off the top of my head, Imola, because there's not many corners. Well, there's a few corners, but corners you have to get to learn, and then there's a lot of straights where you can get used to speed. And Imola, I'd say.
Marvelous. Speed. Any comments from you?
No, I can just give you the top 5 for the event, and obviously we can call that a quits.
All right.
So in tied 5th place for tonight with 68 points was Audi and Charger. In fourth place with 70 points was FX. In third with 77 was Rodders. In second with 79 was Cos. And the winner for tonight is Mr. Smug himself with 101 is Rigel.
Unbelievable.
Now, isn't that an outstanding example of everything we've been talking about on this stream? If you are consistent, if you have situational awareness, if you stay out of trouble, then you will do well on particularly short races. Cos second, fantastic result for Cos. Charger
That's a
and
joke,
FX.
though, man. In fairness, that wasn't my skill. I finished about 14th on average, I think. That was purely the Joker.
Well, let's not ruin my commentary, Cos. You're second, and the Joker is part of the whole package. So, and you stayed out of trouble, and you retained the consistency, and you weren't last on each of the races, were you? So, you got second. Quite rightly, you deserve that. Don't think for a minute that you didn't earn that, in my view. And likewise with Charger and FX, great results for them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment of those scores, isn't it? Speed.
Yeah, obviously, I think Cos got the Joker twice. Audi got it once. And I can't remember the other two, but yeah, like we say, it's good consistency. It keeps you in the battle.
Absolutely. And tonight's Cos's results is, the epitome of that. So that only brings me now to close down the stream. Thanks very much for joining us or for watching it as part of our historical record on YouTube. If you're interested in coming along and seeing what we're all about, well, it's quite simple. Race clean, race fair, race for position, respect other people, and enjoy yourself. And that's what it's all about. Thursday nights, that's when you want to come along and try your hand with us. You don't have to come along and prove that you're the fastest out there, but do come along and prove to us that you can be part of it all and be one of the safest. That is where you learn it on a Thursday night. We've got our Discord channel, and all of our details of the Discord channel are on our website, World Wide Web, rwbracing.club. So please come along and see how to get hold of us. You'll always be made welcome. So closing down then, thanks very much, Speed. Always great to have you with me in the commentary box for our races. I love that little relationship we've grown, and as a result of that, I'll have a special present for you on Saturday. So he's been Speed.
He's been Tiger.
Don't race alone, race RWB. Till next time, take care now.